3 seconds. That's all you have. One wrong decision, and everyone behind you dies. But this story didn't begin here. It began the day you gave up your name in the French Foreign Legion. French Foreign Legion, Legio Patria Nostra. The train stops beneath the southern French sun. Dust swirls around your boots. Strangers from 30 different countries step onto the platform beside you. Some are running from prison. Some from a name they can never use again. The Legion doesn't ask which, that's the deal. Give them 5 years, and France gives you a new identity. A new name, on real papers. 1 in 10 men who stepped off that train will ever wear the White Képi. You don't know yet which one you are. The recruiters barely look at you. Into formation. Names stop mattering here. Your past dies with every shouted command. Selection begins at 4. The pack is 40 kilos, half your body weight if you're lean. The march is 50 kilometers, and every hill hides another. By kilometer 30, men are sleepwalking with their eyes open. Sweat blinds you. Nearly 4 out of every 5 candidates will never earn the White Képi. The instructors don't blink, and they aren't watching your speed. They're watching for the exact second you decide to quit. Some quit before breakfast. Others vanish. After the medical, after the psych interview, you keep moving. Because stopping means returning to the life you already abandoned. And when exhaustion swears the finish can't be far, another climb rises beyond the ridge. Then a recruit collapses under the weight of his own equipment. Nobody orders you to help. You lift part of his load and march beside him. The instructors notice. They say nothing. Weeks later, that same recruit silently repairs the torn strap on your pack before a march. Brotherhood arrives without speeches. It grows in the things nobody asked you to do. Finally, the White Képi. The ceremony lasts minutes. It feels heavier than every march combined. You are no longer surviving selection. You are a legionnaire. Pride lasts exactly 1 night. Before sunrise, trucks haul your platoon into the desert, sand to the horizon. Your first outpost is a position the Legion has held, in one form or another, for over 150 years. And you are now its newest, most expendable line. Heat presses against every breath. Supplies arrive when they feel like it. Sleep is a rumor, interrupted by alarms echoing across the compound. Patrols through the dunes demand patience, not aggression. Every footprint could be smugglers, insurgents, or frightened civilians caught between both. On one patrol, your squad finds an injured child abandoned beside a dried riverbed. Helping delays the operation. Ignoring him keeps you on schedule. Your team leader chooses the child. Hours later, grateful villagers quietly reveal a warning. An ambush, waiting farther up the route. You learn it in that moment. Judgment protects more lives than firepower ever will. Months pass. The fresh legionnaires start watching you. How you prep your kit before a patrol. How you stay calm when nothing is certain. Promotion to corporal arrives after another brutal evaluation. No celebration, just wait. One careless decision now risks the younger soldiers who copy you. Their mistakes become yours before they're even theirs. Then, the mountains. Freezing wind instead of desert heat. Intelligence reports an armed group holding an abandoned communications site above the villages. Your platoon climbs narrow trails in the dark, every loose stone a threat. Halfway up, a young legionnaire slips, hanging off a ledge by one trembling hand. Pull him up, and you risk exposing the whole force. Leave him, and you keep your surprise. You reach for him without hesitation. The climb slows, but by sunrise the objective is secured, and every man in your section walks back down that mountain alive. The Legion taught you to survive. Delta is about to teach you that surviving was the easy part. Delta Force. The Ghost. The mountain air still sits in your lungs when you cross an ocean for another selection. Decorated soldiers arrive here certain their records mean something. They don't. The only currency is perfect performance. There are no rank insignia in this building. No salutes. Officially, this unit doesn't exist, which means if you die on selection, your family is told something that isn't true. You sign for that. In writing. Before day 1. The instructors never raise their voices. They don't need to. Every drill is engineered to expose hesitation, impatience, ego. Delta isn't hunting the toughest candidate. It's hunting the one man who makes the right call when every option is wrong. Speed impresses no one if precision suffers. Reaching the objective means nothing if your team arrives broken. The selection course runs across terrain that doesn't forgive, 40-mile movements, 80-pound rucks. But the pain isn't the real test. Isolation is. 18 hours of land navigation, alone. No encouragement, no proof you're even moving the right direction. Just a grid coordinate, and the certainty that quitting would be so easy, nobody would blame you. Every hill hides another. Every checkpoint raises the standard. Men disappear daily not because they lack courage, but because they stop trusting their own judgment. You remember the patience the Legion burned into you. You refuse to rush. Acceptance is almost silent. No applause, no ceremony. A single handshake into one of the most secretive organizations on Earth. Tomorrow, it begins. Training rewires every instinct you own. You memorize entire buildings before you ever breach them. Every doorway is an unknown. Every corner demands discipline. Then the instructors break the script mid-exercise. A civilian appears where none should be. An exit blocks. A teammate goes down without warning. The objective never moves. The path to it always does. Adaptability beats confidence here. Every time. Your first real operation comes after weeks of rehearsal. Hostages inside a heavily defended compound. Satellite images, intercepts, scale models cover the planning room. You study it until the hallways feel like home. You've run this exact building 40 times in the kill house. Same doors, same angles, same 3-second windows. Tonight is the first time the people inside are real. Then the helicopters vanish into the dark, and certainty dissolves. Real buildings never behave like training. The breach is flawless. Halfway through, terrified civilians spill out of a room intelligence swore was empty. Everything slows inside your mind. Trigger discipline replaces instinct. Your team redirects in seconds. Innocent lives protected, momentum intact. The hostages come home, though it takes far longer than planned. At the debrief, nobody mentions speed. Only the decisions made under pressure. Perfection here is restraint as much as action. Promotion comes from years of consistency, not spectacular heroics. As a team sergeant, the younger operators study your planning before they ever study your shooting. They ask why you waste extra minutes on evacuation routes and communication backups. You answer with experience, not speeches. Plans fail. Preparation survives. Then a joint mission with international partners. Different procedures. Different egos. During the assault, unexpected resistance traps one element inside a confined corridor. You can push toward the target or turn back for your people. Choose wrong and the target escapes. Choose the other wrong and you abandon teammates. Experience answers before emotion can argue. Reinforcements move first. Another unit catches the runner later. Protecting your people is never the detour. It is the mission. Troop leadership brings a burden outsiders never see. You spend more time reading intelligence than carrying a rifle through doorways. Sleepless nights replace physical exhaustion. Every briefing forces you to imagine a dozen ways your men die before they ever walk out the door. You thought the Legion broke you. You thought Delta perfected you. U.S. Navy SEAL is about to prove you wrong about both. U.S. Navy SEALs. Sea, air, land. The next chapter begins before sunrise. Ankle deep in cold surf, waves crashing against your legs. Saltwater soaks every layer before the instructors even speak. The Legion taught you who you could become. Delta refined how you decide. The SEALs demand something else entirely. Whether you can keep adapting after every advantage is stripped away. At 3:58-degree water. You've been in it 22 minutes, and your hands stopped working 10 minutes ago. Training wastes no time exposing weakness. Long swims leave your shoulders burning. Obstacle courses punish tired muscle. Soft sand runs steal energy with every step. During Hell Week, sleep becomes a fading memory measured in scattered minutes. The instructors shout. But the loudest voice is the one inside your own skull, asking whether one simple decision could make the suffering end. Around you, Classmates ring the bell and walk away. Nobody insults them. Everyone understands the price of staying. You stay. Not because quitting never crosses your mind, because the teammate beside you is still moving. When he stumbles, you hook an arm beneath his shoulder until he finds his balance. Hours later, the icy surf drives everyone back into the water. Your body shakes out of control, and another candidate presses a warm cup into your hands before taking his place in formation. The exchange lasts seconds, but it reminds you, endurance is almost never something you achieve alone. Graduation earns the Trident. The symbol carries expectation, not comfort. As the newest man in the platoon, you absorb every lesson the seasoned SEALs offer: maritime navigation, underwater infiltration, demolitions, medicine. 6 specialties, any one of which takes years to master, and you're expected to be lethal at all of them by next deployment. Every skill folds into one demanding profession, because every environment might become tomorrow's battlefield. Your first deployment begins on black water. Intelligence reports armed pirates holding a commercial crew hostage. Small boats skim silently toward a hull that grows larger with every minute. The climb tests more than strength. One careless sound endangers everyone aboard. At the top, your team moves with disciplined speed, clearing narrow passageways where echoes twist every command. Within minutes, the hostages are secured, but one terrified sailor refuses to leave without an injured crewmate trapped below deck. You descend together. You carry him out on your back through the dark. The threat you stopped won't make the news. The man breathing behind you is the only headline that matters. You leave no one. That's the whole job. Experience brings promotion and heavier responsibility. Younger teammates look to you before difficult insertions. They notice how carefully you inspect dive equipment, how calmly you repeat emergency procedures everyone already knows. Repetition is never wasted when lives depend on habits formed before panic has a chance to appear. A river. Triple canopy jungle. Your job: see everything, be seen by no one. Hour 6. Rain hasn't stopped. The only sound is insects and your own pulse. Then you hear it. Voices. A family. Walking straight toward your hide. Reveal yourselves and the operation collapses. Stay hidden, and they drift into hostile fire. You redirect your team in silence, opening a safe path the family will never know was there. Nobody outside the platoon ever will. The people beside you understand exactly what it cost. Promotion to Chief Petty Officer changes everything again. Planning replaces much of the action you once craved. Younger SEALs arrive with the same confidence you carried years ago. Instead of proving your own toughness, you spend hours sharpening theirs. A hesitant diver steadies under patient instruction. A gifted shooter learns that humility matters more than a perfect score. Watching them rise feeds you more than any personal achievement ever did. The final mission. The final operation arrives without ceremony. A remote coastal compound where a terrorist leader coordinates attacks across the region. The weather collapses during the approach, forcing the helicopters to turn back. Your team adapts, inserting by sea, through towering waves and dying visibility. Inside the compound, the objective changes in an instant. Frightened civilians appear between your team and the target. Every lesson gathered across 3 extraordinary lives converges into a single breath. Identity without ego, precision without haste, endurance without surrender. The civilians leave safely. The threat is stopped. Every member of your team returns home. Back at base, there is no triumphant speech waiting. Equipment is cleaned, reports are written, boots dry beside a quiet hallway, where another generation of candidates has already begun. One recruit struggles beneath a heavy pack, exactly as someone once struggled beside you. Without a word, you step forward and lift part of the weight, exactly as someone once did for you, a lifetime and 3 uniforms ago. Only now do you understand what every rank truly meant. The Legion erased who you were and taught you that belonging is earned. Delta proved that leadership begins with disciplined judgment, not flawless marksmanship. The SEALs revealed that resilience is measured by how many people rise because you refused to fall. The badges, the berets, the insignia, they were never the destination. Rank never defined you. The people who walked back down the mountain beside you did. And that is the highest rank you could ever earn.